I'm going to put some more bullets in your intellectual coffin. I'm going to put some more bullets in your intellectual coffin. These white women ain't got money, Chad. And then you said, I'm going to get to Shannon in a minute, and this is in love. I ain't got no problem with Chad or Shannon as black men. I have problems with the decisions they make and the propaganda that they fake. Notice I said I got a problem with the decisions that they make and the propaganda that they fake. Why am I saying propaganda that they fake? Because Shannon Sharp knows better and Chad Johnson knows better. And they know these white women and these other non-black women are not marrying these black men because they love them. They're marrying them because they want the bag. Joel Embiid married a bunny. Do you really think she would have married his 7'6" Cameroonian self if he wasn't a multi-millionaire? Who's the point guard from the Atlanta Hawks? Trey Young, he just married a bunny. You think these white women marrying these athletes because they love them? Half the time they only dated them for a year or two. They marrying them for the bag. And you see it with the high divorce rates of athletes and celebrities after they're no longer famous and popping. When they are no longer at the top of the charts, what is the first thing these white women do? They file for divorce and they take half. Then you said, Brother Chad, why we still stuck on this in 2023 is beyond me. Heavily melanated, dark-skinned Chad Ochocinco Johnson said he don't understand why we still stuck on this in 2023. He don't understand why we still stuck on this in 2023. Brother Chad, can I ask you a question? Have you went to a Jewish synagogue and ever asked them why there's never no black people in there? Have you ever went to a Jewish synagogue and asked them why there's never any black people in there? Have you ever went to an Asian church, a Korean American church, a Chinese American church, a Japanese American church? Have you ever went to an Asian church and asked them why there's never no black people in there? Have you ever accused them of being stuck? Have you ever accused them of looking out for their best interests? Have you ever accused them of sticking to themselves? But when it comes to black men, when it comes to the black community looking out for our best interests, all of a sudden we still stuck on this in 2023. My brother Chad Johnson, can I ask you a question? Is police brutality a thing of the past or the present? Let me ask you that. Chad Ochocinco Johnson, is police brutality a thing of the past or the present when it comes to African people? Let me ask you another question, Brother Chad Ochocinco Johnson. Is mass incarceration of black men a thing of the past or a thing of the present? Let me ask you another question. Is ethnic cleansing, aka residential gentrification of black people, is that a thing of the past, Brother Chad Ochocinco Johnson, or is that a thing of the present? Brother Chad Ochocinco, let me ask you another question. Are the lynching and hangings of black people in America, are the lynching and hangings of black people in America, is that the thing of the past, Chad Ochocinco Johnson, or is that a thing of the future? Of the present, excuse me. So if lynching is a thing of the past and the present, if mass incarceration is a thing of the past and the present, if hangings are a thing of the past and the present, if police brutality is a problem of the past and the present, Chad Ochocinco Johnson, if every problem we ever had in America continues to be a problem for black people today in America, why are you asking us, are we still stuck on looking out for ourselves? Why don't you go ask Joe Biden? Why don't you go ask the U.S. Congress? Why don't you go ask the Supreme Court? Why don't you go ask the Democratic Party? Why don't you go ask the Republican Party why they still stuck on white supremacy? Ask them why they still stuck on white bigotry. Ask them why they still stuck on not giving black people reparations. Go ask them why they still stuck on mass incarceration. Go ask the police why they still stuck on murdering black people. See, my issue with you celebrities and entertainers, my issue with you celebrities and entertainers, my issue with you celebrities and you entertainers is you like to console your white slave masters. You like to make them real comfortable by acting like you don't understand what race is. Chad Johnson, you a dark-skinned black man. Ain't no way in hell you gonna sit here and tell me you don't know what white supremacy. Shannon Sharp, you even darker than he is. From Alabama, I think it is, or Georgia. There's no way in hell you ain't gonna tell me that you don't know what white supremacy is. You two brothers were straight up cooning on that little clip I saw today. And then you went on and said, date who makes you happy. Chad Johnson. I'm going to come to Snow Bunny Shannon in a minute. I'm going to come to Snow Bunny Shannon. And Shannon Sharp, I challenge you to bring me on your podcast. Shannon Sharp versus the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Is Snow Bunny hopping in the best interest or the worst interest of the black community? I challenge Shannon Sharp to a debate on your podcast about interracial dating and interracial marriage. You and me on Club Shay Shay. What you gonna do now, bro? What you gonna do now? Me and you, face to face on your podcast. Let's debate it. Shannon Sharp versus King Kong Consciousness. Is Snow Bunny hopping detrimental to the black community, or is it in the best interest of the black community? And you can have Terrell Owens up there because he be bunny hopping. You can have Chad Ochocinco up there. You can get all the Snow Bunny athletes you want. And let's sit down and have a respectable man-to-man conversation on the topic of bunny hopping in the black community. That's a direct challenge to Shannon Sharp. Put up or shut up. Put up or shut up. Them 3 Super Bowls can't save you from the intellectual execution you're going to get from the Prince of Pan-Africanism. But let me continue. Let me continue. Let me continue. Chad Ochocinco, you said, date whoever makes you happy. Shannon, you also said, you just want people to be happy. Chad said, date who makes you happy. And Shannon said, I just want people to be happy. Chad said, date who makes you happy. And Shannon said, I just want people to be happy. Can I ask both of you brothers a question? Chad and Shannon, can I ask y'all a respectable question right now? Chad and Shannon, can I ask y'all a respectable question right now? Does the best interest of the black community, does that ever come across your minds when you're thinking about dating and sexing these white girls and non-African women? I just want to know, because I keep hearing a whole bunch of individualism in your propaganda. I keep hearing a whole bunch of selfish interest in your narrative about interracial marriage. What about us, bruh? What about us? What about the best interests of the black community? Does that not matter to you, dark-skinned Shannon Sharp? Does that not matter to you, dark-skinned Chad Ochocinco Johnson? Are you meaning to tell me you don't see this vast transfer of wealth that's taking place in the black community every time a black man marries a non-black woman, and especially when a celebrity black man marries a non-black woman? Are you two intelligent black men trying to tell me you don't notice the great transfer of wealth that takes place in the black community when a white snow bunny decides to divorce her celebrity black husband? Come on, brothers. I know you're more intelligent than that. I know you're more intelligent than that. I know you're more intelligent than that. And then, Shannon, you also said, in reference to Tay Diggs, let's go to Tay Diggs for a minute. Let's go to Tay Diggs for a minute. And I'm going to shout Tay Diggs out. I'm going to shout Tay Diggs out. And you know why I'm going to shout Tay Diggs out? And by the way, the Best Man 1, Best Man 2, Best Man series, that's one of my favorite right here. That's one of my favorite right here. I'm just gonna let y'all know. If I could only watch a handful of movies the rest of my life, Best Man 1, Best Man 2, and then the little mini series they did, that's one of the movies I'm watching. But Taye Diggs was married to a Jewish woman, and Idina Menzel. Taye Diggs married a snow bunny, Idina Menzel, in 2003 or thereabout. 2003 and thereabout. And so this snow bunny and Taye Diggs divorced after 10 to 11 years of marriage. They divorced after 10 to 11 years of marriage, and they fathered and mothered a beautiful 14-year-old son. Shout out to the young African brother. I hope he's being raised as an African. Taye Diggs, I hope you're raising your son as a black man. I hope you're not letting that untouchable. I hope you're not letting that untouchable. I hope you're not letting that untouchable raise your son with some kind of multicultural, biracial consciousness, which does not exist anywhere on the planet. That 14-year-old boy is a black man, Taye Diggs, and I hope you raising your son as a black man. Now, Chad and Shannon's conversation grew from comments Miss Idina Menzel, Taye Diggs' ex-wife, a bunny, comments that she made about their marriage and why it ended. According to Snow Bunny Idina, she said, quote, "It seemed like there was a lot of disappointment in the black community with Taye Diggs because he was married to a little white Jewish girl." I'm going to repeat that. These are her words, not mine. She said, "It seems like there was a lot of disappointment in the community with him because he was married to a little white Jewish girl." Mrs. Menzel, do you blame the black community for taking issue with the fact that one of its most successful black men chose to go outside of the community for his spouse? Are you trying to tell me you don't understand why the black community had an issue with your privileged white ass marrying Taye Diggs? Are you that naive, Mrs. Menzel? Or did your white privilege, or did your untouchable privilege, did your snow bunny privilege kick in, and was your ego bruised? Did you have an ego bruising by the fact that you thought your white privilege dictated that black people couldn't take an issue with Taye Diggs being married to you? Was that your real issue? Mrs. Menzel, was your real issue the fact that you thought black people didn't have a right to express disagreement with the fact that Taye Diggs decided to marry a privileged white woman of the untouchable community? I mean, let's be honest, Mrs. Menzel. Your people participated in slavery. Your people owned enslaved Africans. Your people financed the slave ships. Your people built the slave ships. Your people profited heavily from the insurance companies that they ran. But every time we hear your people open up their mouth, they're always the victims, and they never talk about how they perpetuated crimes against humanity during the transatlantic slave trade, Mrs. Menzel. So please don't play untouchable snow bunny privilege here, because your people owe African people reparations just as much as the U.S. government. But I digress.